Okay, so let's see the practical application we are going to develop now.
Normal user, see, so he doesn't get the option to insert any data, right? But if I log in as admin, if I log in as admin, say I get it, then if I put department number 50, say housekeeping departments, some department, right, and say second floor, this should work, right? So save, okay, save successful, and clears the screen. Awesome, guys. So this is the end of the lesson. So you will see the department number 50 housekeeping will be in the database, right? So if you go here, check the table, right?
Okay, so let's continue to develop this application now.
It works, the cursor is moved, right? So the backend clear work. Now let's try to write the save button, right? So save means we have to save to the database, right? So in that case, recall your knowledge from the previous lesson 5b, right? What should we do? First of all, because we are dealing with the database, we have to go to the data set, right? But not this one. So this is for the user, right? Now I'm dealing with the department. So for that, I will create a new data set. Now keep in mind, if you want, you can add the department table also into this, the user data set, right? But as a best practice, you try to modularize even the data sets, right? Meaning for all the user activities whatever related, you it's a good practice to put into user data set. Anything related to departments and any operations, you better put to department data set, right? So if there's a operation relating to say department and employee table, for example, then you make another group, right, and you put them together. So those are best practices. But if you want, you can do all in one data set, meaning you can put the department table into the user dataset as well, and just give a generic name like common dataset or something. But it's better to modularize. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a new dataset because of that, right? So in the model, I'm going to create a new data set. Okay, my friends, right? Learning a lot, right? Learning a lot. That's what we are here, right? We are going to make you developers. So data set, we'll call this as give me a sec, we'll call this as department data set. Okay, DEPART, department data set. Awesome, awesome. Department data set. So you create the second data set. So you got the user data set and the department data set, right? So this is a new one now. So in the department data set, you just like you remember the previous lesson, right? If you can't remember any of these, you had to look at lesson database C sharp lesson 1 2 3 4 5a 5b until now in this channel, right? Make sure you look at those before you if you can't understand any of these, right? Because it's very important for you to understand how we do this, right? So we have done this, so we are just moving fast now. Okay, guys, I got the department data set. Now what's next? You recall your knowledge, right? Good. Now you remember that you got adapter, right? So you remember what to do, right? What do you do next? We did it in the previous lesson, right? Look at it if you don't know. Right click, add query. Awesome, awesome, right? So let's say select the first option, right? So let's say adds a new row to a table. So we got this one. So you can insert adds a new row to the table, because earlier we if you remember in the previous lesson we wrote a select, right, query build using query builder, right? This way I'm going to insert. So insert a new row to a table, right? So let's say next. Okay, guys, so just say next. So guys, we click the next, and we are in this wizard, so we can go to the query builder, right? So it's about inserting data into the department table. So let's see what happens, right? So you got the insert statement, right? So insert into department, right? So the three data values should come from outside. So department number, name, and location. You can execute and enter sample data if you want, right? So you can execute and just enter some sample data. It will work, right? So I'm not going to do it, but if you put that and click OK, it will the data will go into the database, right? So it looks fine because it's default generated. So I'm going to say OK, right? And I'm happy with it, so I'm going to say next. Yes, then a name, let's say it's insert query, whatever the default name it gives, let's keep it, right? Insert, we'll keep the default name, right? Insert query, right? So it generate the insert statement, right? All good, all good. Right, so now you should be you should recall your knowledge. It should update. Awesome, right? So it's there, right? So the insert query is there. Now let's you remember what we did in the previous lesson, right? So you have to rebuild the solution, because it's when you add these data sets, and when you add these tables and data tables, and when you add these queries, what happens is a lot of code will be auto generated. So now we should go and check the department data set, right? We should go and check the adapter, where's this table adapter, and we should see that insert query, right? Insert query, where is it, right? Insert. Okay, so you got here, right? Let's see, insert department number, name, and the location, right? And insert query is there, department number. So it had already, it had the basic insert, right? And now it has the insert query, right? So we should have looked at it. So what we'll do is, in order to figure it out, let's do a quick thing, right? So I also got an employee table, right? So I'm going to temporarily create a temporary data set, right? Right click, add new, right? Just for a quick experiment, right? Data set, let's say temp data set, right? Temporary data set 1, right? And to the temporary data set, I'm going to add the same department table, right? Just to check something, right? So let's wait. Okay, so without doing anything, I would like to check something on this temporary data set, this one. So I would like to build, right? First build the solution, and without adding any query, I just want to see what is there, right? So in the temporary data set, see, you got the department adapter because I added the department table. Let's see what are the default ones. So I can see there's a update, right? Delete, right? Insert. So there are some basic methods, right? So insert, right? So you got to insert, then you got a update, right? Yeah, you got to update. Let's see, and you got strings, in string in string, and then you got string in, right? So we have to see what this is. So insert string. So let's see, right? Now, so there are some default functions already written, right? So I got, let's look at my table. I got the, so let's see what are the fields, right? Let's see what are the data types, right? So I will say the properties of the table, right? Let's see. No, just give me a sec. So right click, table definition, I'm sorry, right? Table definition. Let's wait till it opens. So as you can see, it's an integer char, right? And in chars, right? So it's like in C sharp, it's integer and strings. All good, all good. So coming back to my temporary data set, I can see there are these methods, and let us look at our department data set. We wrote a insert query, right? So let's see it, let's compare the two, right? So department data set, right? So this is it. So it, and then this is the temporary data set, right? So which is just I'm comparing, right? So we got connections, adapt to execute query. So let's see what is it, right? So execute non query. So I'm comparing, right? Execute non query, return value. Let's see, and it returns, right? So they look similar. Yeah, they look similar, right? So I would have I can try using that. We'll try using both, right? So what I will do is, I mean, not the temporary one, right? So I just made the temporary data set, but I'm going to delete the temporary data set now because I just wanted to compare the code. Okay, my friends, right? So the temporary data set I'm going to remove, right? So right click, delete, right? Yes, right? So let's rebuild just to see whether there are no problems. All good, awesome. So now in my department data set, in my department table adapter, I got my insert query as well as the default insert, right? So let's keep that in mind. So what's next, guys?